Hey, what's up guys? I'm Steve Wells, and today we are going to be talking about the hydration pack that I use on all of my long runs whenever I need to carry lots of stuff, carry more water with me, and that is the Nathan VaporKrar. So this is the first version of this, not the 2.0, and this is the 12-liter version. There are two different ones, 4 liters and 12 liters. The size there refers to the amount of storage that you can have in it. If you don't know much about packs and that kind of thing, 12 liters is not how much water you can have with you. That'd be a lot of water. There's also the female specific version of this pack called the VaporKrar. So it's going to be fairly similar, just cut a little bit differently. So the reason I'm talking about the 1 and not the 2 is because obviously I have the 1, and so that's what I know more about. And also because this one is available a lot of different places. I was looking around online the other day when I was doing some research for this video, and it looks like you can find it a couple different places still, and there's some pretty good deals on it. So the main purpose for me is going to be to carry lots of water with me. So I have a couple of different ways that I do that depending on how long I'm going out for, if I can refill, how hot it is. First way is with these soft flasks. These are Solomon soft flasks in a Nathan vest, so if that offends anyone, I apologize, but these are the ones that I have. So the vest didn't come with any flasks, so these are just ones that I found around. So you can tuck these down into these front pockets on the straps here, and that way you don't have to even take them out of the pocket to get to them. You just kind of lean your head down, can take a sip, and they're really easily accessible that way. You can also put one on this other strap here as well. Then you've also got your bladder, which this one came with this pack. So this one is made by Hydro Pack, special Nathan one that they had made for their packs. To seal it, you just kind of fold over the top there, and then you've got to slide this piece across, and then you've got your tube with just a bite valve on it, and that just snaps down into here, and that all fits straight onto your back. So with those combined together, this 1.8 liter bladder and 2 500 milliliter flasks, you have almost 3 gallons of water right there. 3 gallons of water, 3 liters of water right there. And then you could even, what I've done in the past is even just take another flask and like stuff it in the back somewhere if I'm really worried about it. You can also mix and match stuff. So most of the time I'll have the bladder in the back with tailwind in it, and then on this right front strap here I'll have just this soft flask with plain water in it that I can sip on when I get sick of tailwind. So let's start in and talk about some pros about this pack. So first pro, lots of pockets. Most vests are gonna have lots of pockets, but this one feels like even more than some others that I've tried out. So you've got this big pocket in the front that you can put your flasks in. I'll sometimes put food in there. This one here, you've got a little Velcro pocket. I'll usually stick garbage in there. Same thing on the other side. You have this big zipper pocket, one on either shoulder. A lot of times that's the one that I will put my phone in. You also have this big pocket here that runs all the way through the back. Don't use that one too much, but would be good if you just had like a rain jacket or something you wanted to stuff back there and that kind of thing. You've got your main big pocket in the back that you could fit a ton of stuff in. Another smaller pocket that is probably goes down here about 10 inches and is about like 6 inches wide maybe. I've used that one to stick an extra soft flask in as some emergency water whenever I didn't want it up on my shoulder. And then this big pocket back here with your loop to hang it from, your Velcro to hold your bladder up so it's not just bouncing up and down. That's gonna be this big pocket here. Could use it for other stuff if you didn't have the bladder with you as well. I think that's every pocket. Another pro kind of goes along with the pockets, and that is that most of them are fairly easily accessible. Unless you have something in this big main pocket that's stuffed all the way down at the bottom, you're gonna be able to get to pretty much anything without taking it off. So if I have some stuff in this big main pocket, I can reach back, undo it, and reach down into about the top half of it without actually having to take the entire thing off. My next pro is actually not about the pack itself, it's about the bladder that it comes with. So this bladder here actually has kind of an hourglass shape to it, and that's gonna help with the water sloshing around inside. It's gonna help prevent that a little bit. So this is it inside out, and it actually has this flap that goes across and connects to the other side, and that is also to help the sloshing whenever it's on your back. So along with it not moving around too much, it has just kind of normal buckles on the front here that are adjustable that most packs are going to have, but it also has these kind of side adjustments that you can tighten or loosen that are down more around like your stomach, ribs area, and that really helps so that you're not just pulling it tighter across your chest, but really snugging it down against your body, and you can always loosen those up, tighten them down a little bit more as you see fit. Another pro is this material here is relatively comfortable. It's not super itchy when you're wearing it without a shirt or anything like that, and doesn't cause me too many chafing problems, which we'll get to some of that in a little bit, but it's not too bad as compared to some other things that I've used in the past. Another pro is that you can actually use trekking poles on here. So if you put it through this loop on the bottom here, and then there's one up at the top around your shoulder, that you can keep it on there and just have them on you whenever you need your poles. And my last pro I already touched on a little bit earlier, and that's just that you can find pretty good deals on this pack right now. Even whenever I got this one, probably a year and a half ago maybe, I got a pretty good deal on it at REI. It was on sale, plus I had like a gift card or something like that, and it didn't end up being too crazy expensive. So let's move on to our cons, talk about the issues that I have with this pack, what I might like to see changed with it. First of all, we're going back to the trekking poles. So while you can put them on the back, and whenever you're actually wearing it with them on there, it's not crazy uncomfortable or anything. I mean, it obviously does make it a little bit weird, but I don't know how you're supposed to be able to get them off of there. I mean, I could probably do it, but it's definitely not easy. So you've either got to reach back and kind of struggle with it to get them off of there, or take the whole thing off and completely stop and take them off and get them out. And then getting them back in, I really don't think it's possible without taking the whole thing off and putting them back in, which is not the end of the world, but if you were able to get to them quickly whenever you were coming up on a big ascent, and then easily put them back on your back whenever you start going back down the hill, that would be pretty awesome. My next con is with the bladder itself, and that is that it is a pain to refill. So bladders are never easy, but this one is especially difficult. I feel like you have to pull it out of the back here, and this thing slides off. You refill it, and then you close that back up and slide this piece back on. However, people at aid stations, I've found, tend to not know how to do that, so I have to take the whole thing off and do it myself, which is not the end of the world, but if someone else was able to do it for me, I would appreciate that. And also, whenever this thing is on here, it tends to get stuck, especially whenever the bladder is full of water. So it's like really hard to push on whenever this is full, and really difficult to pull off as well. And if you put it on the wrong way by accident, or you have this flipped over, I don't think you can even put it on like that possibly, but if you have it, you slide it on this way instead of this way, which I've done before, it's very hard to get back off. And granted, there is a little arrow to tell you which way to slide the thing and which way to fold it and everything, but I'm not necessarily always paying attention. My next con is that the bladder isn't insulated at all. So whenever you have cold water in it and it goes in here, it's just going to be pressing straight up against your back, making your back cold, which is kind of nice on a hot day, but also making your water warm. The 2.0, I guess, is insulated, and the Solomon Advanced Skin comes with this kind of insulation thing that you can put your bladder in, and then the hose connects through this hole, so it's not pressing right up against your back. But I've tried, and this doesn't fit in here, and it doesn't fit in my pack right, so I can't steal this thing out of the Solomon pack. Another con that I've noticed mostly recently, I never had this problem in the past. Maybe it's because I've been doing longer runs lately because it's been hotter here maybe. But whenever I'm running without a shirt in this thing for maybe like 20-30 miles, like long runs, this bottom part here, these seams down here, tend to start to chafe my back, and it's not that big of a deal, but whenever I get in the shower, it hurts. Next con is something that you can expect with pretty much any pack, but some do a better job at managing it than others, and that is that it is pretty hot. So whenever I'm out and it's 95 degrees out and I have this thing on, it is definitely nice. Sometimes I'll just pull it off and just walk for a little while carrying it in my hand just to cool down a little bit. And I think that just has to do with like the material that this is made out of. It also has like so many layers of fabric here. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of fabric right there, plus like warm water on your back at that point and everything. And so it's just gets hot. So while I did say that I like kind of the texture of this material, something that I don't like about it is I just wish it was a little bit stretchier. So there's not much give to this material whenever you're stretching it, and I feel like if it was just a little stretchier, it would kind of conform to your body a little bit more and give you a little bit snugger of a fit while not constricting your breathing. And my last con with this pack is the price. So this one, if you're paying full price for it, is going to be $180. The new version, the 2.0, is going to be $200. And I feel like whenever it comes to both of those, if you're paying full price, there are better value, better kind of bang for your buck packs that you could be looking at depending on what you're using it for. So other packs that you could take a look at, you've got the Nathan VaporKrar, you've got the Solomon Advanced Skin and the Solomon Active Skin, which I feel like are gonna be kind of similar value to this pack, but at lower price points if you're paying full price for all of them. Now, while I say the other ones might be better value if you're paying full price for everything, you probably won't be paying $180 for this one right now. And if you're looking at the 2.0, you probably won't be paying $200 for it. Just quickly Googling Nathan VaporKrar 12 liter, I found stuff around like 120, 117, depending on where you're looking. You might be able to find a better deal than that if you shop around a little bit. So if you can find this for around like 120 or even like 130, 140, around there, it would definitely be worth a look, because whenever you get down to those kind of good deal price points, it definitely is a good value for the money there. So I've had a lot of time in this pack, a lot of kind of miserable hours spent in it, and not miserable because of the pack itself, miserable because of what I was doing in it. And that means I've had a lot of time to think about the small discomforts in it and kind of nitpick at it. So while I do have lots of cons down there, I really do like this pack, and I would probably buy the same one again. I might check out the 2.0, but I don't really know too much about it at this point. So I think that this one's definitely worth taking a look at, kind of shopping around, comparing to some of those other ones that I mentioned. So before I wrap up this video, I just want to give a little bit of an update on my race situation. And I think that my race situation is probably about the same as everyone else's right now, and that is that it is non-existent anymore. I was supposed to have 100K in the beginning of October, the Night Stalker 100K, and that has been canceled. I hopefully will be running that in May, as long as everything goes to plan. In April, before that, I have the Backside Trail Marathon in Louisville, so that'll probably fit well together to kind of get my training in going into that 100K, which actually works out fairly well. In a couple of weeks, I'm gonna be running the virtual Air Force half marathon that was supposed to be happening in Dayton, Ohio, but is now going to be happening wherever I end up running it. So I'm going to be getting together with my family so that we can all run that virtual race together. So while I understand why the race couldn't happen, obviously, I am disappointed that it's not going to be happening. So I am trying to think of something that I can replace the race with. I have all of this training that I've been doing for the last probably 6 months now, and I feel like I'm in really good shape and I need some kind of challenge. So I have a couple things in mind that I may be looking into a little bit more. But if you have any challenges, recommendations of what you think that I should be doing in place of my race, leave those down in the comments below, and I'll take a look through and see if there are any that I think sound like a good idea and I might want to take on. So I hope this video has been helpful. Leave a comment down below if you have any challenges you think I should try out in place of my race, or if you have any questions about the Nathan VaporKrar 12 liter. Also, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys next week.